Alrighty,
Ooh.
trying this again for the second time. We had some
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
Our
think we worked through
Wi-Fi
'em.
lately, our Wi-Fi hasn't been as good, which has actually made it kind of difficult to upload videos too.
Real slow. Yeah, real slow.
Yeah, but I'm actually a little exhausted today. Wednesdays are always my full work days where Jason works from home and he watches the kids while I do all of the things that have been accumulating throughout the week without interruptions, which is really nice.
Yep.
Because then we're able to get a lot done. So today we focused more on a lot of weeding, um, which we do by hand. I saw a comment like a few days ago saying something like, oh, I can only imagine how many chemicals you throw between your food beds or something. I was just like, we don't throw the
spray or
chemicals,
anything.
And where the pea gravel is too, I always put on my big boots, and I'm gonna show this in our next video because it's actually pretty easy when you have pea gravel. I just scooch and scuff my boots, which scuffs up all of the weeds, which we don't get many anyway.
No.
But then they just lay there and they dry up and they're done, and that's
Right.
it.
Yep.
Super easy.
Yeah, it is. Because with that, the garden fabric or the ground felt that's down there, it's like the roots don't really get that strong. So
Yep.
they're
And
super easy to come
in
out.
areas that are more weedy, when we laid down the weed barrier, we actually doubled up on the weed barrier in those areas. But a lot of our spaces already don't get a lot of weeds because we have really clay-like soil, and that's why we did the raised beds to begin with.
Yep.
So
So
we got some people
yeah,
here.
hey to everybody who has joined us and is watching. Welcome. We've got Idaho, and we've got Northern California, Texas,
Wow, all
Greece,
over the place.
yeah,
That's amazing.
Alabama,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Southern
Well,
California.
thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, let us know. There's a lot going on, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the newest videos that are coming out. We've got a lot more to come your way.
Yeah, so there's a series of garden tour videos that are going to be coming out pretty soon. So the gardens are huge right now and looking really good. So last week we did a garden tour, and even after it was edited down, it ended up still being almost an hour. So it'll get broken up into a few different videos, but the garden tour videos always seem to be pretty popular. So
yeah, I think it's because it gives you guys a chance to kind of see what we have planted. Plus, we always throw in great tips on varieties and growing and what they attract or how we maintain or take care of things throughout that whole video. And I think that's kind of what made it long.
Yeah, but we're looking forward for that one to come out because we think it'll.
Well,
it'll be a
and
good
it was
one.
filmed last week, so it's our June garden tour, even though it'll be coming out in July. But we had someone else film it for us because we wanted to just see how it would be, like so that way Jason and I could finally be in a video together.
It was fun to kind of host the video together, and we each got to talk about things that we liked in certain raised beds, and it was a lot of fun to do it that way.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was actually kind of different too because we've never really been filmed before.
Right. It was a little awkward at first. We had to kind of get used to it and adapt to it, but
and we're comfortable with who filmed us because it's someone that we've known forever. His name's Jeff, and so that wasn't. It was actually kind of awkward, like not talking to someone behind the camera, and being more face to face. So it'll be kind of a cool little thing for you guys to see, and then included in there too is like some really cool drone footage of the whole gardening space. So you can really see the new additions really well that way too.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I see somebody from Fond du Lac.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Another little Wisconsinite.
Yeah. So we'll actually be driving through Fond du Lac next week because we're going to be going up north.
Yep.
And taking a little family vacation. And there's a place that's a little north of Fond du Lac in Slinger called Hell's, and we'll be making a stop there for
Jason's
my
favorite.
annual. I'm gonna pick up like 5 pounds of beef sticks and eat them all when we're up north. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So gross. So gross.
They're good. Are you kidding?
I mean, no, they're good, but I mean, just that amount of meat that you're eating is gross.
I get all my protein for the year in that
Oh.
one week up north.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to bring some of our fresh veggies from the garden and things like that.
Yeah.
And ever since I had Selah, it's been really hard for me to eat meat. I don't know what it is. Like I'll still eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian. But it's just something about like ground beef, especially. I don't know what it is.
No, I know you've always had
Yeah,
issues with
ever
that
since
since
that,
then.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it's a Wisconsin thing, but they've got these things.
I like cheese though.
There we go. They got cheese there too. They have these things called Blondjagers.
Yeah.
And it's like a beef stick on steroids. It's like this big around, it's this long, and they make them. There's like spicy ones. There's all different flavors with them.
You might as well just walk around with like a summer sausage, Johnsonville like summer sausage in your hand.
Better
You know?
yet, they make those like necklaces, where you can
Gross.
just like, hey, I could just hang it in there, and it would just hang there, and every time I wanted to bite, I could just
That
take a
is
bite
disgusting.
and then just
It would
let it
dry
hang
out
there.
though. It would dry out, so it'd become like jerk. By the end of the day, you'd be like, oh, that's just Jason and his meat. So gross.
Well, this is so cool. There's so many. Appleton,
Wow, so
India,
many
Puerto
big
Rico,
neighbors.
Chicago, Iowa, Florida, North Carolina. I feel like we've got like half of the states
Yeah.
covered here,
That's amazing.
and a couple different
That's-
countries. So
that's very cool. Thanks for
welcome
joining us.
everybody. So somebody asks, do we subscribe to the pinching method? And I'm assuming you mean just like, pinching the flowers, or is that maybe like another YouTube channel?
Well, if it's a YouTube channel, we don't subscribe, but if it's the method, then yes, we do pinch.
We definitely do. We're pinchers. We're pinchers, right, Selah?
And here's Selah.
Yep.
Selah's our youngest, and so we've been doing a really fun project that we actually haven't really documented too much because it's our first time, but we've been raising one monarch caterpillar, and it just finally started making its cocoon, which is also known as a chrysalis. I hope I'm saying that right. That's how I read
It sounds right. I think
Um,
I've heard that before.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because we got it when it was like this little baby worm from Heather, who is someone who subscribes here and follows us on Instagram, and she contacted me and was like, hey, do you guys want to try this? And I'm like, yeah, let's try it. And so it went from this little baby worm to this full-grown caterpillar in like 10 days?
Yeah. So I left
Getting pretty
for
windy, like
work.
the wind's coming from that way too, where the thing is.
Oh, let us know if there's wind interference,
Yeah.
and we can make an adjustment here.
Turn the camera.
So I left for work. When was it? Yesterday morning. And when I left, I looked at it, and it was still not in its chrysanthus.
Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
Just call it a cocoon.
Yeah, and then
Cocoon's easier.
it didn't take long to get itself all cocooned
No.
up there. It really did.
No, so that morning, yesterday morning, it was just hanging from the top, and within like a couple hours, it was like already completely wrapped in like this green little cocoon. So Heather said probably about like 10 days, I think it was, she said. And then they turn into a butterfly, and you got to give them about like 4 hours to allow like their wings to kind of dry, and then you can let them free. But once that happens, I'll get in contact with her just to make sure. But it's been so much fun for the kids. Like we read books and we look at things to learn the cycle of a butterfly, but it's completely different when you take it on yourself. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it has been. So somebody asks about indoor plant problems with gnats. I've let the soil dry up, but there still seems to be a gnat attraction going on. So I've actually got a little info on this, and then I'll let you tidy it up, tidy my my answer up. So I was recently talking to somebody that had a lot of houseplants, and I asked them, I said, what is the secret to not having bug issues? Because I know that just being inside, it's susceptible to bugs. So she had a couple of different things. She said that twice a year, before winter and then after winter, she takes the plant outside and just rinses everything off. Just rinses the leaves off, because you can get dust, over the months too, that build up on the leaves, just like any other surface in your house. So she rinses all the leaves, just rinses everything off so that it's nice and clean. And then she also uses neem oil. That's the only thing. There's other. We'll go over some different organic bug sprays, but neem oil is what she uses. And just doing those two things right there, she never has any issues and keeps her plants pretty bug free. So that's what.
So we have house plants, and I'm able to keep them bug free, but I do it a little differently than who he talked to. So that's a great idea. But we always actually rinse our plants anytime they need water. I always rinse them. I always feel like that's good, and I keep them in the sink until they're completely drip free. And a lot of times once I rinse them, you know, they get the water from the top, but if you don't want to get water on the leaves, you can always fill up the basin of your sink and just set the pot in there, and it'll actually absorb the water from the bottom of the root up. And then for bug control, I actually use either the neem oil or the Monterey inside of the house. And then I also really don't need that too much, because I actually will use a systemic in the house. We don't have bees or beneficial bugs in the house, so the only thing that you're really hurting are the bad bugs. So I get like a systemic powder, and I put that on the surface of the soil every 3 months, and that keeps everything away. So that's how I do it.
Very good. So somebody asks, what do we consider up north? Which is a good question, because if you live in Illinois, where we are right now, which is, you know,
This is not up
45.
north. Come on now.
Well, it's north of Illinois, you know, but so, you know, everybody's got a different definition of what they consider up north.
So up north to us is more of like, we go up to an area called Phillips, which is about an hour from Lake Superior. So I really love the area. It's just in like around like that Ashland area and Bayview, or not Bayview,
Bayfield.
Bayfield.
Yep.
That whole area, it's just absolutely gorgeous up there. And then in Mellon, there's Copper Falls, which is the most beautiful hidden waterfalls in Wisconsin. It's a state park, so there's paths through everywhere. There's bridges over that are like hundreds of feet up, and you're seeing these beautiful waterfalls below you, and just amazing. And that's like almost like a 2 mile or 1.5 mile hike. So, and we just like spending time on the lake. My parents have a place up there, so that's our vacation every year is to go up north twice a year. And we love it. We love fishing, we love hiking. We really are never inside the cabin, and we're not much of like, let's go into town shopping. We're more just like enjoying the nature and everything like that. So,
but it's, you know, from where we are, we're just south of Milwaukee. 15 minutes. It's about 4.5 hours north of us, so it's definitely up there. Yeah, 5.
5 hours.
Should we switch? We're gonna switch the phone around just
Someone
because.
said there's wind noise?
No, but I mean it's, you know, it is coming from that way. So.
Okay, we're gonna switch the phone quick. We're not going anywhere though. We just might be upside down for a second.
Yep, here, see, just put you down for 1 second here. We're just gonna.
The wind is coming from the direction that the
Oh. Never mind. YouTube said we could not do that. It says
Great.
orientation blocked.
You know what? It's actually okay, because now I all of a sudden felt the wind coming from the other direction.
Well, all right.
I don't think the wind really knows what it wants to do. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you spray neem oil to control bugs outside, can you still eat the veggies without rinsing?
I always rinse, but you know, once rain comes, it rinses off. What I actually use the neem oil mostly for right now in the garden is more as a soil soak. We get the brand called Bliss neem oil, and I use that as the soil soak, and we use the Monterey on the plant. So if I have vegetables on my plants, I'm not really spraying those plants anymore. I don't like really doing that. Unless I have like a bad aphid problem or something like that. I'm not really ever directly spraying the food. Like all of our peas are ready, so when we had like a cucumber beetle breakout, there were some cucumber beetles on them, so I just collected them there because there were so many peas there and I didn't want any type of spray. near there, but yeah, I mean, any spray you're really using, you should rinse that. But if you're not using one, or if it rained, then that's kind of like the rinse already. Like our strawberries, we sprayed once in the beginning of the season. We had spittle bugs,
Yeah. Yep.
and that was before they were, well, they had flowers at that time. And then after that, we never had to again. So we just eat the
Yeah,
berries.
anything we pick off of there at this point we can eat. There hasn't
Yeah.
been anything on it in,
Yeah. Yeah.
quite a while.
Yeah.
So let's see, we've got a question here. How long have you been planting? And Casey's been planting for much longer than me. So
I've been growing gardens and gardening and all of that my whole life. I grew up on a farm, which was a vegetable and pumpkin farm, which turned into a really well-known garden center here in Wisconsin. And I worked in that business up until about the age of like 27, 28 when we started having kids. And then I just kind of decided that I wanted to be more with the kids because we were able to, because Jason's a home builder. And that's kind of like our other business that we also kind of are into. And so I wanted to just spend more time with the kids, and yet I still wanted to have my hands in the gardening. So Jason just suggested, hey, you know, like maybe you should just start sharing what you do in the garden instead. So I did, and here we are today.
yeah. So somebody asked, what are we planning to do for the 4th of July? So
Ooh, I like that question.
yeah.
I love personal questions and like family questions. Like
Yeah.
those are my favorite.
Yep. So
Even though I'm-
before we get into that, so was that last year we did the 4th of July video with the showed the fireworks and
Oh,
us in the
yeah,
garden. So
yeah.
if you want to see what we'll be doing, because we'll be doing kind of the same thing.
Yep.
We've got a video that we did for last year, 4th of July, that kind of shows what we did. And we spent some of it in the gardens and family and cookout and fireworks and just, that kind of thing. So
It was a good time because then you can just see family coming. You can see the gardens filled up with more people, and to see like the fireworks above the lit up gardens, and it was just pretty neat. And I think we're gonna kind of do the same thing this year, but I don't know. Like you didn't even get any fireworks, did you? Or
I'm going to. Yeah. Yeah.
he's waiting till last minute, like the
There's
worst
this-
time to go get fireworks.
There's this place. It's right down on the interstate, so it's not too far from here. I mean, there's firework places all over, but the
It gets
one
so busy.
Yeah, there's like lines every time I drive by it. There's lines out the door, and there's no way I'm going there.
No, I mean,
I'll hit one of those little like pop-up tents somewhere that still have like good stuff. I can still get some big stuff there, but
yeah,
yeah,
so he's
so-
just waiting till last minute. When at the beginning of June, I told Jason, I'm like, we should maybe get some fireworks before it gets busy. He's like, yeah, we
yeah,
should.
good idea, hon.
Good idea.
Good idea. The 4th of July is in 3 days, right? 4 days. Good idea,
Way
hon.
to go, hon.
I'll definitely make sure to get some.
But hey, we got a lot of other stuff done.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna probably go to my mom's for a little bit swimming. Jason's mom is stopping by on Friday because his parents are gonna go out of town, and then which I would still like to have them over too to have fireworks and stuff at one point.
Oh
you know?
yeah. Yep. We will.
But
when we get back.
we really wanted to have like a nice big party with friends too this year, but it's like with all the COVID stuff, I don't know what we're supposed to do anymore. I'm like, I don't know, should we, shouldn't we, I don't know,
Yeah.
because I don't want to be hanging out in the garden wearing a mask, I'll tell you that.
Right. Right.
That would be very uncomfortable and hot.
So somebody asks, a plant studio idea, will it work? And I think maybe you're asking about, we talked about this a little bit, about making certain plants available online. We're going to be adding to our website where you'd be able to purchase certain perennials and different plants and whatnot. And that's something that we're actually going to be starting that a little bit this fall. So we are...
Is it this fall?
Yeah, they want to do a couple test runs. So basically, there's this nursery, in the state of Wisconsin where we live, which is great, and they are in Waterloo, Wisconsin. And they do a lot of online plant sales, but they are the largest nursery. So they grow plants, they grow flowers, they grow trees. And they are the largest nursery in the state of Wisconsin. And so they contacted us recently and wanted to work with us. And before earlier this week, we didn't know, like for sure if we would be doing it, but we are going to move ahead with having certain plants that they offer available to purchase. And one of the things that I guess I didn't even really know before they brought it up, you probably knew, but fall time is one of the best times to plant perennials, especially. Because after you plant them,
And
or
trees.
because
And shrubs.
right, once you plant them, you don't have to do as much as, like, we just planted all of ours because we got them in the spring and we're doing berms, and we got to water those guys every single day. So it's a lot of work and upkeep and maintenance. Same with all of the newly trees that we planted. So fall time, if you're going to do shrubs, perennials, trees, is the time to do it. So that's why they want to start, and we want to start doing some things in the fall time. So
But how nice would it be to, say, design one of your gardens and, get it kind of prepped once fall time comes, when it's cooled down too, to know that your order will be coming in at the date that you have it prepped. So like you could
Sure.
order it and have it come in fall time, and you know that it's coming. You know everything you wanted and ordered is coming, so it's not like you have to fight a crowd. And then you can get them planted and not have to be, busting your little buns all summer, watering and maintaining. And it's just like, I'm like, man, that berm needs water again. It's just, it's
Right.
like more than the raised bed. So
yeah.
it's been kind of a lot. And look at little Lana. We got a ghost. It looked kind of like a ghost.
But it is, online plant sales, and it does still sound kind of weird to me, because up until this year we had not tried it for ourselves yet. We ordered some trees and got lots of perennials and lots of trees this year.
And we never even thought of this as like an actual business
Right.
plan at the beginning of the year. This is something that kind of just came up because, we were discussing with this nursery, and so we are actually super excited because it's like I really want to get our website going. And our website is actually there right now. It's just not called the Lawrence Garden Farm right now. It's still just called KCLynLawrence.com, and we've been kind of transferring it over to the Lawrence Garden Farm, like giving it more of that feel and everything like that. And Jason's covering the wind. That's gonna be perfect. There you go, hon.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. And so what I really want to do, one of my biggest goals, and this is something I've been wanting to do since the start of it, when I started this 4 years ago, or almost 5 years ago. I always said that I wanted my own home decor and garden supply store online, and I feel like this is going to be a great start. So not only these plants, but also anything that we use in our gardens, to have that accessible, so it's just like a one-stop shop.
Right.
Yeah,
one of the cool things too that we're going to be doing to basically, show what we have available, so that you can actually see what it looks like and get some information on it, is we'll have it in our gardens, and we'll be doing tours kind of showing what we're going to offer. We'll talk about it.
Oh, these motorcycles. No offense. I'm not against motorcycles,
No.
but oh no, he didn't rev it.
No.
That's
some
nice.
some of the things that we'll have planted up have maybe been established for a little while, to where you can see what it looks like a year or two in. But basically, we're going to do a lot of those videos this summer, towards the end of summer, so that come springtime we can put them out, in February, March, so that you could actually order right then and there. You can kind of see what you want and order, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
So,
a good idea.
okay,
Hon.
all right, well,
Jason
On-
loves talking today. It's nice. It's kind of, it gives me a break. I don't get a sore throat or dry out. What's
Yep.
up, Lana? Say hi. There's little Lana.
So somebody asked if we're going to be filming any of the up north trip, or if that's personal time that we just want to keep worry free. No pressure, just wondering. So we've done it both
Yeah.
ways. So last year we didn't film,
No, we did.
did we?
So we usually do one trip up north filmed, one trip not filmed,
Okay.
and only pictures for our printing and albums.
Yeah. So actually, that would be another. If you want to see what we do up north and where we
Yep.
go, we actually have a few videos.
Yep, so if you go into the garden vlog, garden show playlist, scroll down, because when we first started our channel, we actually did just as much family vlog videos as we did garden how-to and vlog videos. So we've kind of transitioned in the past, like since last year, we kind of started doing just more garden, but still sharing family as well. But like now we're doing more of like our holiday videos on our family channel, which we don't keep up much. That's not really a channel we're looking to build, but if you want to see more personal stuff, we're going to start putting it on the Lawrence family channel, which you can find on the right column of our homepage on the Lawrence Garden Farm channel.
So somebody says I have knockout roses in Kenosha. So Kenosha is right, you know, they're
So close.
yeah. They are getting devoured by something, but I can't see anything in them. What would you recommend to put on them to help?
Yeah, so what my mom uses and what helps her is she uses the Dr. Earth spray for roses, and that helps her. So try that out.
What kind of beans are the beans that you just snap off and immediately eat in our videos? So we do green beans.
Oh, from last year? Because we didn't, or I guess like from
Yeah,
the
we did.
greenhouse too. Yeah, just
Yep, we
we
had
just
green
do a
beans
regular
last
bush
year.
bean. I like bush beans because they're bushy and you don't have to trellis them. I always like things that are just one less step of work. And just look for a regular bush bean and you'll be good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it safe to eat veggies after using Miracle Grow water-soluble fertilizers, or do I need to wait before consuming?
Well, no, if you're using Miracle Grow fertilizer on your food, it's absorbing into your food. So it's already kind of in your food. That's kind of like why we started transitioning more into organic use stuff like the past few years. Because, you know, I mean, we've been kind of learning more and more about that, but it's a personal preference. It's still going to be kind of in there, but it's not like you're literally eating out of the jar of Miracle Grow, so you'll
Right.
be okay. You're fine.
Right.
But they're linking it to, you know, like over time, like all the organic is the big thing right now because they're saying that, you know, GMO and pesticide, and not only does it hurt, you know, the earth, but it's also something that can possibly be linked to other diseases that we get. You know.
Yeah, no, you know, it's so funny when you said GMO. She was watching a stand-up comedian the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, do you remember what he said about that?
He just said like everything's non-GMO. And what did he say? It was so
he was like,
funny.
I want that growth hormone. He's like, I'll take
he was
that.
short. He was short. So he was like, everybody wants their food without the growth hormone. He's like, I want that GMO in my food. Where's the GMO aisle?
That was hilarious.
It was really actually funny, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, somebody said, yes, please. I would love a vlog type to your 4th of July.
Okay.
So.
And we have so many family vlogs if you scroll down too. And we actually created a playlist for kids, which is more like kid and family. And so if you scroll down, you see gardening for kids and kid-friendly videos. Those are more like just strictly the family vlog style as well.
Right. Somebody asked, can you do a video on your best suggestions for companion planting with vegetables? So in our videos that are going to be coming out, the tours that we did, we talk about what's in there, and you can see what's in there.
Yeah.
So that right there will help a little bit. We'll go further into that too. But Casey is also, we're working on a book that is a raised bed recipe book.
Yeah.
So basically showing what's planted in the gardens, how far apart, all of the specifics.
Yeah.
So that'll be something that hopefully we'll have available this this winter.
Yeah,
So.
and then we'll also share like, things that, didn't work so well, or like some of our trials, and we kind of are just overlooking all of the beds right now, and then we'll only choose so many, but I want to choose a bed, at least one bed in the book that didn't do well, and kind of go over why and what happened. I want to share some of my favorite recipes from the year, and then there was one other one I wanted to do, like, oh yeah, and then like a trial garden documentation, but then also with some pretty pictures, so it's also like a nice coffee table book.
Yeah. So somebody said, my favorite channel on YouTube, exclamation point.
Oh, thank
So
you.
happy and positive. I always feel so uplifted and inspired after
Aw.
watching your videos. So
That's awesome.
thank you so much. That's definitely one of our top goals.
Yeah.
Is to be positive, uplifting. I mean, that's just who we are, and we feel like if we can show and share that
Yeah.
just that alone can help,
I think it's good
aside
to
from
just
gardening.
have that, easygoing positivity, and just, share what's good. And, there's enough going on to where it's kind of nice to just sometimes forget and just enjoy the simple things like gardening, and something that we have in common of, liking and sharing it with the family, and just kind of showing like different ways that you can have fun at home too.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
so many people are more at home now, and it's just, we like to just keep it simple, but I always feel like, with the videos, I always love being able to include the family in. I think your hat's in the way, Jason. There, his hat's blocking the sound. I always feel like it's really nice to include the family, because for me personally, I don't ever want to forget those moments. So not only are we documenting our gardens, showing how we're doing things or tips or whatever, I also like showing the kids in the garden and what we're doing in the garden as a family together, because I like documenting that. I just love documenting everything. And if it was up to me, like overall, I would just do the garden vlog / family vlog together all the time, and not do one single how-to video. Even though in all those vlogs we show how-to and tips, but we do the how-tos because we know that there's specific things that people need to just learn right away. And that's one of our biggest things too, is just wanting to help, and especially new gardeners, because there's so much out there to learn, to where if they're looking for just one little thing narrowed in, and I can help them in that just like 5 minutes, that means a lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody says, you do an amazing job with your video editing. Did you take a class to learn how to do your editing?
Aw, thank you. That means so much, because I took no classes. I actually had a photography business before I had Lana, so I would do a lot of family photography and kid photography, senior picture photography, weddings, and I started getting more into video after that. Like once I had Lana, I started liking, all of a sudden, like creating videos. So it all started with for Christmas 2 years in a row for my mom and dad. I would do where I kind of documented random things throughout the whole year. And then I had all of like my sisters send over any extra clips or photos they took of their family, whether it was like one of their highlights for their family of the year, like a vacation or something they did that was fun or something special at the holiday. And I would compile all of that into one big family video. And I'd put it all in order from the beginning of the year to the end of the year in this one video, and we'd all watch it on Christmas Eve.
It was really cool.
And I was able to use really cool music, because if you're not uploading it, it's okay if you're using licensed music. You know, like
right.
like trending cool music. So I like more of like an alternative indie kind of a sound. And everybody just like loved it. Everyone loved it. Everybody was crying by the end. I'm like, yes, I did good. So that's actually where my love for creating videos started. And then after that, I kind of started our vlog. And we really actually started as a family vlog and just mixed gardening in a little bit.
Yeah.
And we found that the gardening, people wanted to see more gardening.
Sauce. That
Yeah.
was the secret sauce.
And
to the
so I'm like,
recipe.
all right, well then we just started showing more gardening, and I guess it's just through practice, because if you go through our channel, I mean, there's just hundreds of videos. So after editing hundreds of videos, I've gotten better.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I
know.
mean, you just keep picking up new skills and
Yeah, and I like to watch, um, certain shows. Like I like watching like the Food Channel. I'm not a big person that likes to cook a lot, but I watch it for editing. I find that food channels, if you're able to make somebody cooking a, a an entree, if you're able to film someone cooking and make it like so interesting that nobody can turn that channel for 30 minutes, then you're doing something right in editing. So
yes.
what I did was, in watching someone cook is interesting, but you kind of have to keep flipping. So that's what I noticed is they switch the view of the camera every like 4 to 6 seconds. It's like different views, different views, different views. It's like snapping all around, but it's still the same filming. And I'm like, okay, we need to do that. And then they come in and out with some music, or I just learned that
Yeah.
that was the secret.
Yep. So somebody asked, who takes care of your gardens when we go up north, or do you put a drip system? So
Okay, so if you want to answer,
Yeah.
go ahead.
sure. So it's been somebody different every year because it's some people grow up and they don't want to do it anymore. But
They
so
get
this
real
year,
jobs.
yeah, I've got a friend and his son who is a hard worker. We've had him here.
Joey.
He planted a lot of our perennials on the berm, and he's been doing other things. And then he's
Yeah.
got a friend that wanted to come over because we're paying him pretty good. If you find
hard
somebody
work.
that does good hard work, they need
They're
to be
worth it.
rewarded. And so he's got a friend with him now, but he and his friend are actually going to be watering everything and watching over everything because
Yeah.
it's a bit, it can take a couple hours to
Well,
water
especially
everything.
for someone new.
Right.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, so today they were here and I was kind of, teaching them how to water. Teaching them how to water, and also showing them everything that needed to be watered, and they'll be kind of watching the house too. So they'll be watching over the house the whole time.
Yeah.
we're gone.
Yep. So a couple of people have said that they've ordered online from Proven Winners and from
Oh, cool.
somewhere else. So they want to, they'll be interested to see what we have to
Yeah,
offer. So
that's
we'll
really
let you know
cool.
as soon as we've got that up and ready to go. So
Yeah.
somebody says your stone borders look so nice. Any tips on how you did it? Weed barrier first. Any adhesive? So we did do weed barrier first. We did the weed barrier, and then we put down one row of stones. And most of our areas, I think all of them, we've done like a double row of stone. It just looks a little more substantial and nicer. We did not use adhesive. A lot of the times, they'll end up setting on each other. Sometimes you got to play around with it a little bit, but for the most part, they don't move. You could certainly use adhesive though, because there are some stones I noticed that one here or there will fall down and I have to put it back up there and maybe it gets knocked off so you could put a little dab of adhesive there to kind of lock it into place.
Yeah, and with our cold winters here in Wisconsin, everything settles too, so we may have to move the stone a little bit or add even more stone next year. With the settling too, I think we're gonna also have to add just a little bit more of soil into those garden beds next year, just to kind of touch up the surface and mulch it a little bit before winter as well. And
Yep.
yeah, I just kind of did it how we did when we were really young. I remember we landscaped the front of our old farmhouse. Our farmhouse was actually built in the 1800s, and we always tried to keep it looking nice, and so we did rock borders in the front with perennials and stuff, and I remember that still, and that was always my favorite gardens. My favorite gardens. And you know what, they're still there today, and all they did was put the stone there.
Yeah.
The stone settles, but it looks beautiful when it settles.
Yeah, it does. Somebody said, I love all the boulders, love the berm too. That's the first time I've seen one made.
Cool.
So today we actually finished up the back side of the berm. So the berm is completely complete now.
Oh, no.
Well, a couple little things I know, but
No, it's not.
one of the one of the last things we needed to do was on the back side of the berm that you don't see all that much. was pretty much covered with weeds. Casey had already seeded that with wildflowers, so that all germinated. Lots of wildflowers back there. They haven't blossomed yet, but they're there.
The wildflowers that are there are only annual, so they will die once the winter comes. And I really just did that because we didn't know what we were gonna do there. But so Jason, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so today we actually, Casey pulled the weeds on the back of the berm, and right before we did this, I seeded it all with grass, and still got to get a sprinkler on it. And somehow one of the sprinklers disappeared.
He misplaced it.
It walked off. No, I know I stuck it in the ground somewhere, and it's just not there anymore.
Well, I don't know.
Anyways, that'll complete the backside of it.
So the reason why he seeded in some grass is because what we did in the backyard, in the back half that we kind of let go wild, is we actually seeded that with grass, and then we pretty much did like a grass that, you know, it kind of feathers out and doesn't get too much taller and kind of lays over. But all we do is we actually just mow in paths in that area and let certain patches go wild. So certain weeds grow there, but the weeds are more like a wildflower, and we get a lot of Queen Anne's lace in there, and a lot of just different beautiful flowers in there. And I feel like because we have that grass, it eliminated like an overtake of all like these crazy weeds. It kind of
It definitely tames them. And then over time, if you want to get a better, you know, lawn or grass in that area, you can then start to do like weed and feed, where it'll, you know, build up the grass even more, choke some of the weeds up. But we like the way that it looks on the hill. I mean, they bring in beneficial bugs.
It smells so sweet back there.
Yep.
And what I love about is when that Queen Anne's lace comes into blossom, it's just like pure white out there. But that's where a lot of the beneficial bugs start, I feel.
Yep. So with having the berm on the entryway to the garden, it'll be a good thing there.
So I mean, in that area, we're going to kind of let go wild anyway on the back. And then as we can, we're going to start planting some trees on the back. So it just becomes like a wild wooded area. And then when the, like in fall time, I think I'm going to also add a few more perennials into the berm. And then I figure, you know, in 2 years, everything will just fill in to where a weed can't even see through.
Right.
That's what I want. I kind of want something to just kind of go wild. I don't like maintaining too many gardens.
Especially back there. It's, you know. So Miranda says, how are you just going to reveal a book in the works like it's no big deal? Well, it's not, you know, we didn't get like signed by a publisher or anything like that. It's not, we're actually
doing it ourselves.
So once we're done with it and it's ready to go, we'll be super excited about it, and we'll definitely be promoting it. But we really have just like started the initial process of it, which was taking like the drone shots from over the top of the raised bed, so you can kind of see everything that's in there and where. So there goes the doctor.
Yep,
Dr. Lana.
And then we're gonna continue taking the pictures each month. And ooh, be careful! Don't hurt my plants, there, sweetheart. Oh, okay. All right. And then we'll just your hat.
That's okay.
And then we'll just continue to show the progression on each bed. So whichever beds that we choose to put into the book, then we'll be able to show it, you know, from when it like just started growing to being full grown, and then all the way. It would be kind of cool to show them in winter too.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, snow covered.
Yep.
I love it.
Do you guys hire help? Do you have jobs, or is this your full-time job? So
this is the first year we've hired anyone for help, and he comes maybe once or twice a week for 3 hours.
Yeah, so it's not a ton of help. Last year we did everything ourselves. I mean, even with the amount of stuff that we're doing this year, you know, we did more this year than we did last year.
Yeah, it's either pay someone to help us for a few hours a week, or pay someone to watch the kids so I can go do it, and I'd rather spend the time with the kids. So that's kind of why we came to the decision to hire Jason's friend's son, Joey, who then said, you know, hey, I got a friend that wants to help. If you guys have any extra help, and we're like, all right, bring them on in.
Yeah.
So now we got 2 guys for 3 hours once a week.
Yeah.
And it just helps us.
It is, because
really
we
helps.
had so many perennials to plant on the berm, so that was one thing that was nice to have somebody do while we were doing other things and weeding, things like that.
So it's never like we have someone working and we're just, you know, hanging out or enjoying the garden. Like, we're always working right alongside Joey and Eric, now that he's here.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just really nice to be able to have that help, especially now that we're expanding, because for me, this is my full-time thing. And I always, Jason's a home builder, so I always help design like their main parade model, from the entire home design of the layout to the custom features, to the selections of choosing what goes into the home, to decorating it, and then people would come through it. That was always one of my other jobs. But this year, and I ran social media for a couple other companies and doing videos for them. So this year I kind of got rid of all of my extracurriculars, so I could just focus here at the garden farm, because what we're trying to do here is build the garden farm so that way we can open the garden farm to others for multiple things, which you can see in the description on our channel here. If you look at the about section, we kind of have a whole little written area there.
Right.
And then if you want to talk about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a home builder. I do the sales portion. Our home building company is myself, my father. My father has a partner in the business, Jim. So it's kind of a family business. My brother now works in it. We've got a few employees, and I do our sales portion of it. So aside from meeting with people, a lot of the work that I can do is possible to be done remotely, and I get to pretty much set my own schedule. So there's one day a week that I take off, which is Wednesday, so that Casey can have a full day, out doing what she needs to do. And then on the weekends, we get a lot done. We're weekend warriors. And then even after I get home from work too, there's things that can be done. But Casey is, as the kids allow, or as what they want to do, if they want to go out and do something, she can go out and get some things done with them.
And I know Jason makes it sound like his job is really relaxed, but he is taking calls until 9 or 10 at night sometimes. And that's okay, because that's part of the job, and that's one of the things that comes with being able to set your own hours. And there's always things that come up on jobs and with clients, and
and we do. So we have a real estate company as well. So I have some real estate agents, and we do list homes and help people find properties. And so if we get an accepted offer on a home and there's negotiations that are going on, a couple of the agents are new, so they still need to talk to somebody before they can let their buyer or seller know this is what we need to do. So it's a job where it's not a 9 to 5. It doesn't just turn off. You can't just come home and forget about it. But at the same thing, the biggest advantage to it is the freedom of kind of setting my I can pick when I want to meet with people, and it allows us to do what we do here. And eventually I do want this to be our full-time. I'm hoping that with us being able to sell plants online, that we kind of become an online, we've got a lot of plants here, we're not selling them here, but online, and some of the other things that we're doing, that'll allow for it to be a full-time thing. So,
and I'd love to, because like I still, just because I stopped designing homes for the company, I still like, that is just as much of a passion of mine as gardening. And we did share some of that when we first started our channel, but there really wasn't an interest in that here on the channel. So that's kind of why we eliminated that topic altogether.
Right.
And but I love decorating too, and I love making our home a home. I always want the girls to feel like they can go into any room and play. Like, it's never like, don't break that. Like, everything is completely kid friendly. They can jump on whatever couch they want. The decor is real natural, but yet I keep a little touch of whimsical, so it just feels cozy for them. But I love decorating with naturals, so I bring a lot of cool stuff that I find outside, inside, and I decorate with beautiful green garlands. And I like to mimic the outside and bring it inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I love it. I just feel cozy.
I do too.
In that.
That's
We're outdoor
my
people,
style as
so.
well. Let's see. What kind of strawberries do the best in Wisconsin? And I guess we could just speak to the ones that we have.
There's quite a few different strawberries. So, we like to get them in bare root. So, what I would suggest is to check out Johnny's Select Seeds online. Hang on, this van's going by. It's kind of loud. It's a beer van. Hey, you forgot to stop here. So, so you can go on like Johnny's online and check out, because the strawberries will tell you what zone you're in. So if you're in Wisconsin, you're between like a 4 or 5. We're a 5B, but I always say zone 4 because like we still get really cold winters. So I like something that's super hardy. We have one of our favorites is called Sparkle, and it's a super sweet strawberry, and it's not super huge, but it's more of like a mid-size. It's a June bearing, so they produce in June right now. And they're delicious. They're absolutely super sweet, and that's one of our favorites, and that's where we got that variety.
Yep. Sandy made it. She says,
Hey,
hi, Casey
Sandy.
and Jason. Hi, Sandy. She says, Casey, pumpkin on a stick has thorns. Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
How do I harvest them?
Okay, so what you want to do is wait till they're orange, though, so you won't harvest them until they're orange, which usually tends to be cooler at that time, so not until probably around August or September.
Right.
But once I go in, I harvest them. I actually take a clipper and I clip all the thorns before I even cut them off to bundle them.
So somebody said, why do we choose not to have drip irrigation? So we're gonna for
we had
sure
a choice.
set that up. Yeah, I mean,
it was a budget thing.
yeah, that's gonna be one of our projects next year.
It has
for
to
sure.
It has
Because
to be.
there's so much stuff to water that it's like, why wouldn't we just have some of it be automated? So we're gonna be working on some of that next year. So yeah. Let's see. What do you think of? What made you think of doing the berm? So the biggest thing is we're about 300 feet off of the road, but we built in the middle of a farm field, so there were no trees on our property besides, we brought in a few big ones, but it doesn't block what we want blocked. We just want privacy. When we come outside, if we're in the front, we don't want people to be able to kind of see what we're doing. And same within the back and the gardens, like the way that our property is, we have all open farm field on both sides. So if you're driving down the street, before we did the berms, you could see right into our back garden area, and it's just, it's just for privacy. So
it gives it more of like this enclosed, like special, magical feeling now that we have the berm. Especially when the berm continues kind of downward on the back side of the kids' science shed, and then the trees continue. That whole area gives us complete privacy now, and it's just like in not only privacy, but just kind of like adding a design to the land rather than just keeping it flat. Adding that design just kind of brings more of like a design to the garden. Sorry,
yeah,
I just keep saying design.
Design.
But it just even looks better, like even in the backyard. So a few years ago, what we did was it was completely flat back there, but I really wanted a huge hill, and Jason's like, what do you want a huge hill for? I'm like, I just want a big hill, for sledding in the winter time, just to add like that cool feature, and that way we can be on top and overlook. And so we added the hill, and now it's like one of our favorite places.
It is.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It's awesome up there. It's so cool. And it's just fun even to ride the Ranger, because we go, woo! See how fast
we've
the
got like a
girls are.
path over it.
It's like a little ride.
Yeah.
And then in the wintertime, when it snows, we're able to go sledding down it. So it's like just another thing to do in winter when we're kind of cooped up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it just really added so much.
So somebody said, question, you said the house slash gardens will eventually be used for events, but I don't think I ever heard where you're going to go live. Are you not planning to continue to live there? So when we do that, when we do have it open, we wouldn't. So this would be, much further down the road, when we are at the point where we're ready to, I guess, downsize a little bit. The girls probably will be
Yeah.
not living here anymore.
Like,
There's a lot of scenarios that.
Right. So we're just kind of playing it year by year. That's our ultimate goal, is to open and do all of that. But we can't say, well, in 5 years, because we don't know, if we're going to be making enough money here in order to be able to build somewhere else, or is it going to be 10 years, or my ultimate goal would be no more than 10 years, but we've already started doing where we put into some photographers' ears that we know, and kind of exclusively just to these photographers, that if they have certain family shoots, senior shoots, or kid shoots, and they're looking for location, we can now provide a location. So we're going to start being a photography location for certain exclusive photographers.
Right, and I guess our biggest reason why we don't, open now and do certain things here now, would be just because we live here, and that would be the main concern, is that
The safety
we
of
don't
our
want to
kids.
have the business right next to our house.
Yeah.
If the property was set up different, like say we were 1,000 feet back off of the road, and we could have like the front half of the property.
Yeah, that would be
That
fine.
would be different. But it's the way that when we first built and moved here, we never had any intention of really doing what we're doing to the extent that we're doing it.
Yeah, we started pretty small.
Yeah.
We started with 8 raised beds, and we're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Right.
And then it's just like, it turned into more of a thing for me. And as things started growing, I'm like, this is what I envision. Like, when you start doing something, your idea starts evolving. So now you're starting to see the possibilities. And we would really love to host events here. And I would love to have it sooner than that. Sooner than 5 to 10 years, but I feel like by then things will be a little bit more tidied up and set up for that, because I know that we would love to even do a few different things inside of the house to make it more practical to host, and to have caterers, or to have workshops, or some type of a building, so if it rains then we can have a space, and so that's kind of what we're working towards. But for now, we can provide education and entertainment on gardening and family here, and start our online store there. And then
Right.
as we continue to grow and do things, then that'll tell us, what the time frame is on opening.
Right,
So.
right, exactly. Cindy Dunn, hi Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
She asked, did you both grow up in Wisconsin or near each other? And we did, yeah. We didn't meet until, is it 12 years ago now that we actually met? And before that, we had never seen each other face to face, right?
Never.
I never knew Casey existed. I went to high school, and her older sisters went to the high school that I did, and they were in different grades than me, so I didn't really know them per se, aside from seeing them. But I never knew that they had, a younger sister.
Hello.
So yeah, one day a friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to go to a party at Jennifer's house? Her and her husband's house?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "It's a party for her younger sister." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know she had a younger sister." And so
Oh, yeah, she does.
it was a random thing, and we went there, and that's where Casey and I met, and
Yeah.
we locked eyes when I walked down those stairs.
And it was over.
Yep, it was. I mean,
A year later, we were married.
yeah,
so.
we were inseparable from
Yeah.
that point on. So, and I grew up really. So Casey grew up on the farm that.
I literally grew up down the road from where we're living now.
Right, and I grew up in Caledonia, which is, so I grew up probably like 3 miles from here, east of here. So we, lived pretty close to each other
Yeah.
the whole time, and then we built a lot of houses because my
Girls.
dad was always a builder. And so we built a house in Union Grove, and that's where I ended up going to high school, and that's kind of where.
And I went to high school with his two brothers.
Yes.
And I actually went to prom with his youngest brother, Andy. And what's funny, well, they're twins, so I guess I can't
Yeah.
say the youngest. They're twins. But Andy and I went to prom together, and we were just friends, so it was never like a thing or anything. But so I never saw him ever.
Yeah. No, I know, because even for that, I just must have not been around when.
I remember his brother showed up as my prom date. He comes to pick me up, right? So, well, we meet at my house. He comes and he doesn't ever wear glasses, but he shows up with glasses on and a big black eye. And I was like, what?
Yeah, Andy was he got into some trouble. He liked to get into fights when he was younger, and yeah, so
Yeah, all
that's
boys
high
do.
school boy,
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, somebody said awkward. It really wasn't. I mean, they were just
no.
friends.
Yeah, we were just friends. It wasn't anything like that. Never kissed or anything.
Yeah.
It's okay. And in fact, when we got to prom, I never saw him the rest of the night. I didn't want to go, but.
Oh, that's so funny. Outdoor lights. Is it so? Okay. Somebody asked about the outdoor lights that we have. So our garden lights that we have they're not solar. We actually have those plugged in, and they're on a timer. I don't know if we have a video where I was putting them up. We don't actually. There's not a video of me installing them.
No.
But I'll put a link in the video for this as to where we got those. So
So is that it then? All the questions?
that's
All right,
it.
I'm
So
gonna
we're-
actually get back to work because I told Jason I can only do live for so long today. And
right,
then-
and we're actually gonna be changing the days of the live. So I'm sorry, I know we've been inconsistent with the times and not doing them sometimes, but we're gonna change the day that we do it. So next week it'll be a different day. We'll let you know in the community post. We'll put out a post as to what day and time it's gonna be, and then that will be the day and time that it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we'll keep you posted on that. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time and for joining us and for subscribing and watching.
Yeah.
We really, really do appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.